We're back. Welcome to episode 2 of You Sound Like You're from London podcast. We're going to go over the quarterfinal results, the semifinal games, and predictions for the final. Nick, let's get your thoughts first on the quarterfinals matchups. Why don't we talk about France Morocco first?
Well, really quickly,
Yeah, hit it.
buenos tardes, payasos. I think that if I could, I'd do the entire podcast in Spanish because we have an all Spanish speaking final now with Spain through and Argentina through.
Mm-hmm.
Not the final most of us wanted. And for our Rube listeners here, what does that translate to in English?
Good afternoon,
Buenos.
clowns.
There we go. If if I was hosting, everything starts with clowns somehow, some way.
You're the
In any
clown.
case. Well, we're all clowns, and that's the important part,
That
right?
is the
Uh,
important.
yeah,
Us two for
um,
sure.
yeah, yeah. But no, I know we're starting at a quarter, so let's stay on track here. We're coming fresh off of the semifinal, the
Yeah, it's
England
hard to not
Argentina.
start there. Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm still reeling from the shitstorm that we saw earlier today. But
Actually, why don't we
quarterfinals,
just switch it up? Why don't we talk about what's fresh? Did you took off
sure.
from work today, didn't you, to watch your beloved Le Bleu play?
Well, that was so yesterday. Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, yesterday. I mean,
2 weeks ago, I was looking at the schedule and I said, I realized semifinals are going to be during the week since there's going to be a final on the weekend. And it was just the game started at 3. That's fine. I just took off starting at 3 the last 2 days, work
hmm
from home, and I'm done, right? I'm just left alone. Of course, I've got the kids and whatnot, makes it a little dicier, but
yeah,
whatever. Um, but I would say in both games, I I feel like we got the final we didn't want, but probably the final that the teams playing deserved. That's kind of my takeaway from them. Like, and I think disagreement is a healthy thing for this podcast. So I'll stop there, and you give me your take there.
well, I'm in a household with a Colombian wife, and she is a bitter. She has a bitter hatred for Argentina.
Yeah,
All of these Argentina games we're watching, she's like, no, no, fuck Messi, no, I hate, no, you can't win again because they're always just beating Colombia, so she hates Argentina. But I
and
can't help it. I love watching Messi, and I'm feel privileged to keep watching him over and over again. And
yeah, the
I'm
thing
glad
is,
to see him in the final.
and it's only something that's happened more recently. He's had the final in 2014, was it? That they lost to Germany, right?
Hmm
Now, so, but besides that, like the narrative has always been Messi wasn't a really an Argentinian player, and he didn't really quite click with the Argentina
Yeah,
national team,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
now he's gone. This will be his third final. He has a chance to have 2 World Cups in his hand, which very few people in the history of the world have ever
Back
done.
to
And
back.
yeah, I mean, and exactly like who
Well, I
does
was
that? I
looking
think
at
there's only
it.
been Italy and
England.
Brazil are the only
Oh
two
yeah, I mean Italy in the 30s and Brazil in I think the 60s,
in the
50s,
60s. Yeah,
60s. Yeah.
exactly. So I think precisely. So it's like it's a very rare occurrence. And but again, I think it also for me, I think of course he's part and parcel of of them getting to where they are. But I also separate out. I like and love watching Messi, but I don't like watching this Argentina team. Like I like watching the moments he creates, but the overall collective, I find them really, really unlikable for a lot of different reasons. Anyway, and but I have a bias too, as most of the listeners at this point would know. I am Colombian, half Colombian by birth, and Travis. So my father's penis makes me Colombian. Travis's penis got.
My
Anyway,
kids are
uh,
50% Colombian. Yeah.
there you go. So I asked my dad one time, like, because we have the North and South in the United States, and like we have stereotypes about different pockets of the country, right? And so I was asking him in South America, what are the stereotypes of the different countries? And it was kind of fascinating to hear him talk about it. He hates Argentina as well.
Yeah,
It's
of
like,
course. They all do.
but he was fair to Colombia. I mean, he was fair throughout. He was like, Colombians, everybody talks about as like the shisty, they're knife fight kind of people. The Brazilians are just a party country. The Peruvians are the indigenous, hill people. Um, and And he kept going on, and then he ended with Argentina, and he said, and most people don't like Argentinians because they think they're European,
Hmm.
and that's the difference of them is like they actually try to distinguish themselves from the continent they're on and like hold themselves as like it's like a weird. I don't know, and I don't know how it holds true, but that's how he thought about it, and I'd imagine your wife has similar negative
Well,
sentiments
yeah,
about.
she said they think they're better than everybody else. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly the idea, right? It's like
Yeah.
that's so. Yeah, fuck them is really how I feel about it. I would have much rather see, especially after France losing. I thought the best story would be for England to go on and
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. England would have been
Um,
cool.
and anyway, but they did the England thing. I mean, and we can break down the game. I mean, we've seen that game 500 times before in our lives already. We've all seen that game, right? So anyway, I'm yammering. Your turn, Travis. What'd you think? What'd you think of the game?
I mean, it's the same story. It's incredible, yeah, because you said it. They don't. I mean, there are some moments that they have some nice play, but it's all through Messi where he kind of creates the give and goes, and they look to him. And at the end of the day, like I was kind of thinking after the first goal, I didn't really realize it was a Messi assist. I was like, oh wow, finally a goal that Messi didn't create. And then I was like, no, he did get the assist. He got the assist on the second goal. It's just insane that everything, every goal has been produced by him.
And technically, you're right. Today, I would say the goals were produced by England. Like they. I haven't. If you were to break down that game, first half, there's not really. You can write it off. It's like they're just jawing at each other. It's the typical England Argentina. Anytime you see them get together, is just like a nasty exchange. Okay. I didn't see the first half as being very remarkable. They go into the break, whatever.
Yeah.
England, and it goes on like that into the second half too. And England just produced a great moment. Like Kane drops deep. He just gets involved in the play, sends one over. Rogers does the great cross. Gordon puts it away, and it's a great goal,
Yeah,
right?
that
But
was
it's
an
not like
awesome
indicative.
goal.
It's not like indicative of like, oh, England's been mounting to this. It's something that happened. And what do? They they retract and they just like they just set shut down, and I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to Laura. I said they brought this on themselves. They scored the goal and then they just parked the bus. Obviously, Argentina's going to score at least one goal against that.
Yeah, and it wasn't like there weren't warning signs. It's like Pickford standing on his head. There's one off the post. Enzo had just done the carbon copy shot that
It went
Pickford tipped
over.
over,
Yeah.
and then they do it, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? And the other thing was, and I was talking to my dad about it, who made the point too. Kane is gassed, like he's done.
Who?
Even
Kane? Oh, yeah.
Kane, and even if he's not, if you're going to play that deep, you have to have some type of outlet. And look at the bench. Like Ollie Watkins is sitting there. You brought him to the
Hmm.
tournament for a reason. He's a perfect exploit to go over top if you're going to play that defensive game. Saka's sitting there. It's like, there's all these like forward-minded players that are fast that you can actually give the defense something to think about, but they don't. It's just like this
So
weird.
are you blaming Tuchel, who a couple
In a
of
way,
weeks
yeah.
ago you were saying is tipped for Real Madrid?
Oh, Tuchel, I don't think so. Yeah, I'll say Tuchel. The conversation was is Tuchel more of a prized possession right now in the market than Pochettino?
Yeah, okay.
I
You're
still
proven
say
right.
yes.
Yeah,
I,
yeah, of
I
course.
absolutely,
That's
of course he
reasonable.
is.
Yeah.
And but what Tuchel's renowned for, what he was at PSG, everywhere he goes, he's an in-game management master. Like that's what he hangs his hat on. And it's what Southgate wasn't, right? Like they brought in the guy that's supposed to be able to make things happen during games. He did it during Norway, right? Like things weren't working, he changed something up,
Right on
didn't work, he
Saka.
changed it
Yeah.
again, and he'll play with it in game. But this time he kind of just sat still. Like why aren't there subs happening at the hydration break?
Well, you know what he
I
did was he took off Reece James. The Chelsea people are talking about this. He took off Reece James. It was 1-0 England. Took off Reece James, parked the bus. I feel like if that was his decision, which you would think it is, that was a
Reece
huge.
James went off injured. He's
Well, he was
it's
cramping or
Reece
something.
James.
Yeah.
I mean, the real analysis, we don't. It doesn't have to be that deep. It's England choked and Reece James is injured again.
Yeah.
It's like we've seen it.
It's Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, it's like it's the fourth season of Dark where everything connects again. It's obviously this would happen. And Argentina, they don't give up. It's
Yeah.
every single game. It's like it's weird that it keeps happening, it but should we be surprised? It was kind of that way in 2022. Like they really didn't seem like a team that should be in the final, and they go
I,
on and win it.
I thought they've looked shocked a couple times when they've gone down in a couple of these games that have been tight, but like especially against Egypt, they looked pretty shocked. But
Hmm.
it was interesting today. They did not look bothered at all being down 1-0.
They're used to it. This is they're like,
Yeah.
oh, great, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Anyway, um, good luck to them, I guess. I guess I want Spain to win. I'm much more interested in the third place game that I wish was the final. I would have loved England France to
Yeah,
be
it's a
played.
good third place game.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like, who remembers third place games?
Yeah, nobody.
What was the last one? It was Morocco, Croatia. Who won that game? I think that's who it was.
I don't
But
know.
like,
And Morocco was definitely one of them. I don't remember if
yeah,
it was Croatia.
and we just don't give a fuck because who cares about losers?
Yeah.
It's like it's a sad reality of the thing. So it's just some game that'll happen that'll, it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, Ferber had a great line. I think he said that game should be played in Yorktown, which I really like. That's a great.
Yeah.
That's,
It definitely shouldn't be played in New York or Atlanta.
yeah, there's a guy I work with. I was talking to him today, and he said Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta, and he was just saying how he's a little bit older now. He doesn't really care about soccer anyway, but he said that it's built up over there, and the traffic is crazy. And they did a lot of work to make like new hotels and shit. Like they said, it's a great time down there.
For the World
And then
Cup.
his friend went to. Oh man, what was the game he just went to down there? I think it was. Did England play Norway down in Atlanta? It was some great
Maybe.
game that he was there for. Oh no, it was Argentina Egypt he was there for, and
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a good
I was
game.
like, that's a crazy game
Yeah.
to go to. That's a historic game. Anyway, so I guess if we don't mind, we're gonna pivot over to the other game.
Yeah. I was just rewatching the Spain France game, and I really think, I was watching Rabiot a lot, and I think you're right. He's not the problem. I really think the problem is that Elise, Mbappe, Dembele, Barcola, Doué are all kind of the same.
Mhm.
They are missing that Griezmann. Elise, I'm sorry, he wasn't able to distribute it to the other three. He wanted to do his own thing and score the goals. They were missing some kind of like true number 10 to unlock the defense for the other three attackers, and
And
they
they
didn't have that.
well, they kind of did, and they have all tournament, but they put him in the what was it, 82nd or whatever minute. Cherky is the answer to that
Oh yeah,
question,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
What was he doing not on out
oh,
there
oh,
earlier?
oh, I think
Earlier,
that I think he should probably in a game like that, and we were talking about it on the side, in a game that you're playing against Spain, you need more technical players on the field. So I think we talked about you're a Doué fan over Barcola. I like
yeah.
Barcola over Doué, but I think in terms of club games and also future versions of themselves, like I think Barcola growing into a striker makes more sense. Doué gravitating, if you were to gravitate central, I see as a midfielder. He's tidier on the ball, not as fast, and
Mhm.
that's the trade-off. But Doué is a better fit for a technical game in the midfield with Spain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just and the idea with that they've been doing is they almost get into that 4-2-4. It's just like we're gonna have four forwards and we're just gonna go, and that's how we're gonna strip you. And you just if you pepper shots and you get your goals and all that, but it's not through like some Spanish type domination of the
Mhm.
midfield. And so
Yeah.
if you look at that, you wonder if the more controlled versions of France in the past, like if you had a player like Matuidi, I'll take Matuidi over Rabiot. I always will.
Yeah.
It's like Conte you've mentioned,
Hmm.
obviously. He's older, but where are those players that are filling those gaps right now? They don't. The real thing was they didn't need them.
Chouameni, I thought was pretty much invisible, kind of. I mean, he recycled the ball, he got it back sometimes, but like I just kind of felt like there was nothing incisive to like break the lines from midfield to attack.
No,
It
and
just
it
kind of
wasn't
got
that.
stuck there. Once they got it to the attack, yeah, then it was good. That can beat anybody in the world. Those three, four, I guess. But I don't know. I don't really. I think saying that a Griezmann could type player is what they really lacked and needed.
And I really would have liked to see what that game would have
Cherokee.
looked like if Shirky and Due were in the field. Like, but then it's a question of who do you sit? You probably sit Barcola and put Due in, but then out of the midfield, who do you sit between
Yeah, I
Dembele and
know.
Olise to fit Shirky in? And that's a
Yeah,
really difficult question to answer. My answer would probably be Olise. I'd probably sit Olise, have Dembele wide, and have Shirky playing central. But there's no good answer to that
okay, but look
question.
at this. You said you wanted to get Fabian Ruiz into the Spanish lineup somehow, some way, and he sat Pedri. Like nobody would make that call except
And
him, basically, and
and
he
that's a
did it.
really ballsy call. And I think that Spain have looked markedly better with Fabian Ruiz, and he plays very well. Like I think that's the right call, but I did not expect. I think the call was to sit Olmo. But the real question
No,
that
Olmo played, didn't he?
no, he did. I was saying of the three, if
Oh,
because
you
if you're
would have
looking
sat
at
Olmo.
because what was happening was Rodri, Olmo, and Pedri were the middle of
Hmm.
that. Those are the three in midfield. But he's right in the sense of you have one choice to make. You don't actually sit Olmo because he's different than the other two.
Yeah.
So you have to
Hmm.
pick between Rodri and Pedri. And he went with experience. And Rodri's still one of the best players in the world. Don't he just was Ballon d'Or winner
Hmm.
2 years ago or whatever. Like
You can't
he
sit
made the right
him.
call.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the answer is Pedri. You sit him and you add more dynamism because Fabian Ruiz is more physical, more attack minded, and he pops up for a goal here. He's distributing backwards and forwards. I think they looked amazing. Like I really think Spain looked absolutely in control of that game, obviously. You
Yeah,
know?
it did. I would say I would never sit Olmo out of the Spanish team. I really like what Olmo brings to the table.
Yeah, I mean, obviously De La Fuente knows a lot more than Nick Botero does. So yeah, yeah. Um, anyway, I think Spain, Cucurella also, I know he's no longer with your boys. Is he already gone? Did
He's
Real
Real
already sign
Madrid.
him? Yeah, he
Yeah.
already signed. Okay, it's hard to keep up during the tournament, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for somebody that even at Brighton is just like you look at him and you just go, oh my God. But for like you have to respect him of how good he is. He's one of those players. Like as a Chelsea fan, you probably really like him. If he's on your team, you probably really like him. But if you're up against
Oh
him,
yeah, he's annoying as hell. He's
he is
always
yeah. But he's been the most consistent player throughout the entire tournament for Spain, most likely. And like even in the Cape Verde first game where it was a 0-0 draw, he was the only one getting behind the line and like asking questions, putting the ball through. Like he's
it's
had a really
amazing
good
how
tournament.
he gets up there and breaks the line like that. And he did
And
that at
Pedro
Chelsea. He was there for Chelsea all the time and just putting it across the goal for anybody who wanted to take it.
And I think it's also really funny that these Spurs, like three of Spurs' back line are semifinalists in the World Cup, but they finished 17th in the league. It's just
Yeah.
like
How did
you
that happen?
see Jed Spence for England.
Spence is pretty nice too.
Well, in an England jersey,
Yeah.
you're like, that looks all right. And then same with Romero with Argentina. And then the third one is Pedro Porro for
Hmm.
Spain. It's just
Yeah.
like what all the like. How are you guys?
17th.
And Van de Ven didn't have a terrible tournament, but Netherlands just had too many kinks to work out. They have good players, and I think De Zerbi is going to make some serious work out of them this season. I think it's going to be it'll be like Man U 2 years ago. They finished like 16th and then finished third. I think it won't be that dramatic, but I think Spurs will be back in fighting for just on the cusp of Champions League places.
Yeah. I mean, but who do they have leading the line? Is it still what's his name? The Brazilian guy?
Well, they got Solanke, right?
Yeah, yeah, Solanke.
The problem last season was so many of the Spurs. I'm sorry to turn this into a Spurs podcast, but like that team, I feel kind of bad for who's the fool that got bounced out of there because he just like didn't have the players. Like half Kulishevsky was injured. Like major pieces were constantly missing for that. James Madison was out like the entire season, and so De Zerbi's kind of coming in with a fresh hit of like he's got
He'll
horses to run with,
he'll take all the glory.
and he'll know what to do with them too. I can't remember who just got bounced out of there. It was Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager,
Hmm.
was there, and he got bounced. I mean, they went through a couple problems, but
Well,
anyway.
Tottenham's always kind of a little cheap with it, so they're not going to have a huge squad, so that can happen with the
They
injuries.
won't be because they're not deep. That's when it
Yeah.
rains, it pours, and that happened last season for sure. Um. Anyway, sorry, I don't know where we are. The England game or no,
Well,
the
if you like
Spain
that, continue
France.
to listen because we will be continuing during the Premier League season.
Yeah.
That will be our
Um.
main focus.
So riddle me this, Travis. Okay. Who's the team that you think you really wish was in the semifinal but wasn't?
I mean, that's it. I mean, it feels kind of cliche almost at this point because it seems like everybody in America, the whole world, fell in love with Holland, and I mean, I really liked watching Norway. I thought they were a fun team to watch. So I wish they would gotten to the semifinal.
Oh, well, yeah, and obviously I'm wearing the jersey here, and I wasn't even thinking of like quarterfinal. I wasn't even
You were
really thinking
thinking
about
of
just
like somebody who got
like
knocked out.
yeah, like a team that kind of just disappeared earlier on in the tournament that you'd like to have seen make a deeper run than they did. I think Norway got to an appropriate place
Yeah,
and
yeah,
got
they did.
like it would have been great to see them in a semi, but I think that they go away pretty happy with their tournament, obviously. Like the Brazil win alone is like the greatest thing to happen to that country,
Yeah.
you know?
There was a couple teams I liked that I was sad didn't go farther. Senegal, I thought was fun to watch. They had, I mean, man, they were fast. Netherlands too. I mean, you mentioned him before, Somerville. Like Somerville really catches the eye
Hmm.
when you're watching them, and South Korea. I thought South Korea was pretty fun to watch, even though they were
I
really.
guess I just didn't see enough of them. I would put as far as like East Asia, I'd go Japan over South Korea from what I remember.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Japan
both
is another
fun.
good one. Yeah.
My boys, I, I, my pick would be, and they don't deserve it. Like Senegal, I think is a great shout because I think that they probably pound for pound were a bit better. But I really liked. I was excited watching Ivory Coast,
Yeah,
and
Ivory Coast too.
I wanted to see more of Diomande. Like I just want to watch him a lot, and I think we'll get to this next season.
Yeah.
Be up close and personal if somebody can bag him.
Where is he at right now? I was just looking at that pretty recent.
He's Leipzig. Like he was making waves last
Uh-huh,
season
yeah.
at Leipzig, and then Liverpool was heavily linked. He's supposed to be like the Salah heir apparent in the right wing role. He played left for Ivory Coast, but I think the latest I saw was PSG were thinking of just nabbing and just grabbing him.
Where are
And
they
then,
gonna put him?
well, that's what I mean. It's like how many of these guys do you rate? It's crazy. And I think the answer is they're trying to sell Barcola, and I really like the Arsenal link to that. I
Hmm.
really want that to happen, but they're asking crazy prices. Like people are 175 now for a million. It's just nuts.
Is there any kind of like stuff happening with Martinelli? Because I feel like he kind of went
Yeah,
away at Arsenal and then had a little bit of resurgence with this World Cup.
yeah. I mean, it's a weird question because you also have to weigh. Trossard just left, so him going to Turkey is a it leaves the hole there. If you were to get rid of both the left wingers on the team, then that becomes an area of need where you have to retool kind of specifically. Barcola would get you halfway home, but you have to have a backup for him, and you can maybe kind of like wedge a Eze in there or something. But
Or
if you
Madueke.
Yeah, but Madueke still is a right wing
I
player.
mean, he
Like
plays on the right, but you could probably put him there on the left, I guess.
I mean, after you talk about stock down in this World Cup, he looks
Oh
like, I
yeah.
mean, Ibra, Ibra ran him through the cornfield like really hard. He said, I think his quote was something like England's game against what was it, Norway? he said that they were like playing down a man because he was on the field. Like
Yeah, I mean, he
he
just
looked
lost the
bad.
ball every time he got it. I mean,
Tries too hard.
I was frustrated with him at Chelsea at times, but at times he looked good. I don't know. He's kind of
Well,
one of those players.
he came in and made some serious work while Saka was injured this year. Like if you remember, he had a run of games where he was like really about it. And he
Yeah,
had some
he
goals and
has those runs like that.
yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you can't keep this up. You're not a sustainable player, is what it looks like so far. But I'll give him credit where credit's due. It's just he did not have a great tournament.
Yeah,
Um, okay, so finals, finals and bronze game. Now that we've
yeah,
got our teams,
yeah. I mean, I think the bronze game. I mean, I think England has to have their tail between their legs. They have to feel just totally done. France, they can show up at half speed and just knock England out easy.
well, the other question is like, if you're the coaches, are you putting your horses in? Are you just like, is it time to play? You know, let the other guys have a day, mix and match, whatever, grab a
Yeah, I'm sure
penny.
they will.
You know,
Ollie Watkins, here's your chance to score a World Cup goal.
and that's the problem with these games. Like, it would be nice if they took it like super serious and it's like a pride game and they go hard, but you know, semifinal games have got to be like, I as a player probably just like, why the fuck am I like? Come on, I don't want
Yeah,
to be here.
yeah.
You know. But that's a game I want to see more on paper anyway. That's a more exciting game to me.
I mean, I'm actually pretty excited for the final. I've liked watching both Spain and Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina.
Spain, Spain
Mhm.
hasn't lost a tournament under De La Fuente.
He hasn't
You know
lost.
that?
He hasn't lost a game.
Yeah,
He has lost 0 games in charge of Spain.
that's crazy.
That's
Is that going to
crazy.
continue?
That's pretty crazy to think about. Anyway, so and maybe they lost a game in like qualifying or something, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think that they won Nations League, right?
That they won Euro,
Well, we know that for sure,
and
but I'm
yeah, I
trying to
think
think
it
about
was
all the in
also
between.
Nations League.
Yeah, I
So,
think that whatever he's doing, and I also heard like when the team was kind of like getting criticized for how they were playing in you know they drew a game
the first game.
1-1.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like and apparently his stance on it was like he was just like confused of why the media he was like everything's fine like everything's just fine and he was watching the players kind of take it to heart and whatnot but he seems like this very even keel type of manager is just like all right yeah you know what I think how about we sit Pedri all right cool all right and then you know it's like there's no drama there like it just and I think as far as the two managers between Argentina and Spain he's clearly the better manager like
Yeah, that
it,
I don't even know who that Argentina guy is. I've never seen him before, I don't think.
no so I mean, he was in charge and he's the one that's like got Scolari's been there and am I getting now I'm second guessing myself I'm pretty sure it's Scolari. So he's the one that he's a young coach, but he's the kind of guy that's like he doesn't have like a club record behind him. But he has a World Cup under his belt. He's got a Copa America under his belt.
But
And
he hasn't been in any clubs really.
I mean, I'm sure he's coached somewhere, but not
Not a big team.
I don't think it's like he's done European stuff. I think that he's just kind of
Was
check
it
that
like
out for me.
Boca Junior or something maybe or
If you're gonna look it up, I want to see the managerial career and just
yeah.
also confirm the name because I'm some reason I'm weirdly doubting myself on that, but I'm 99% certain.
All right, hold on.
But like
The
for him, it seems like
manager
he's
is
like
yeah,
a
Lionel Scaloni.
Scaloni. Sorry, Scolari. Who's Scolari? Scolari's the other
Scolari
guy.
was the Brazilian coach.
There you go. Okay, so um, Scaloni. Thank you. And his bit is like I always thought since he's been so effective, and you remember they went on a long unbeaten run, like a historic run of unbeaten games for Argentina. They've been incredible in CONMEBOL qualifying, but apparently I think that his skill is like just getting out of the way, and he manages like he just manages egos in a sense, in the way that, and I've always thought like he'd be a probably a good fit at Real Madrid
Mhm.
of just let him play, don't get in the way, give him a template to work with, and just edge into the background. But this tournament, I don't think that he's really done much in his favor. I mean, he's gotten to a final, but they keep like eking past teams that they should beat besides the one today. Like I think this was the first game where it was this, and his substitutions made a big difference today.
Well, they still kind of eked by. I mean, they scored two
Well,
late
yeah,
goals.
uh,
They were
for sure. I,
down.
I I mean eking by against teams that they should otherwise beat. I think
Yeah, yeah,
today they were dogs.
yeah.
In other games they
They were
should
minus
wax.
2,000 favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be waxing some of the other opponents that they've been crawling past.
Well, no, actually, this coach is pretty interesting. I mean, he just stopped playing in 2015
He's super
at
young, dude.
Atalanta was his last stop.
Oh,
Played
interesting.
Lazio, Mallorca, like some of the. He played at West Ham for a little bit, but he played with
Interesting.
Argentina from 2002 to 2007. So yeah, he's pretty young. He's pretty new to coaching,
2002 to 2007. I'm wondering the 2002
but he only
team. He
played
might have.
4 games.
Okay.
He was like a bit player.
And I'm wondering at Atalanta if he was there under I'm not doing well with coach names today.
He
The
only
Atalanta.
He was
Yeah.
like a sort of a bit player everywhere. He played 49 games for Lazio from 2009 to 2013, and that was like the most games he played.
Just because it's bothering me and all credibility is out the window. Can you look up the coach's name for Atalanta? I'm like losing my mind trying to think of it.
Right
The
now,
yeah, I think he's the same guy. He's been there for a bit.
I can picture him. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's killing me. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, so I want. So how do you think this game goes? This final.
I think it'll be interesting because it's kind of strength against strength. Like Spain wants to have the possession. Argentina's happy to let you have the possession and then hit you on a counterattack. But I think if there's a team that can beat I think there's 2 teams that could beat Argentina. France, I think, could beat Argentina because if those front 3 show up, then they can beat any team in the world, and maybe Spain can because they will dominate the midfield.
So the template for success, and I think you're right. If Spain possesses the ball, they're gonna win that game. Argentina's goal, and I'd be shocked if we don't see it, is to break up the game and slow it down. Maybe not as obviously as Paraguay did against France, but like Paraguay's temp, they almost got there. It was like, how do you beat France? You don't let them play, and so you break, you foul, you slow it, you foul, you keep breaking up so you can't get in a rhythm, and I think that Argentina will be dedicated to that. I would be surprised if DePaul doesn't start, and that's his whole MO is just to do that all
Mhm.
game until you get your yellow and you have to slow down a bit. But I anticipate a lot of you do not want that Spain team to get into their 40 pass rhythm because then
Yeah.
you are effed. Like there's no chance.
I also
That's how
think
yeah.
I also think that the Alvarez experiment has failed. I think they have to put back in Martinez because just like today, he can score. I think in more ways than Alvarez. Martinez can get a header. He can stand up the ball a little bit better, hold it up. So I think they need to start him for sure because they
And
need to go any kind of way, corner, header, deflected, hold it up a little bit for Messi to do a little give and go, and I think he gives you a better chance to do that.
yeah, I mean the best version of Lautaro is when he plays, you know, kind of big man, little man, and he doesn't have big man with him. And that's the only question I have about that is you're right. He comes in, he's more effective for sure. And he's the one who came in with the cross. to put the lights out for Egypt, and he can get wide, he can come in. Alvarez, I don't see as dynamic to your point, but I'm also just not taking with either of them. I don't see either of them as like
Yeah.
I I mean Spain. I just the major difference that I see with Argentina, and I think that one of the substitutes, I did not know his name, but he came in around the 60th minute and he made a huge impact, and I thought that was one of Scaloni's better substitutions today. Is they don't have wingers. If you look at their team, they have no dynamism wide. Where you used to have like a Di Maria,
Hmm.
it's a weird like element that's just lacking. Where all the major teams have that, and whether or not Tuchel chooses to use soccer or not, or like I think, and that's not fair to Morgan Rogers had a great game, but his inclination is to come middle. But they like you have Spain, Nico Williams comes off
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bench, like you've got Yamal, who's a crazy winger. Elisa, you go down the major teams in this tournament, and they all have wingers, good wingers on both sides. Argentina has
Yeah, that is kind of
nobody.
crazy that they don't really have a single winger, and they've the coach doesn't think so either because he's changed the wingers up every game. Like he has
Yeah,
not had a set of wingers at all.
and they play a strict 4-4-2. They don't, and that's you can see it. The teams that don't, they play the teams that have wingers. They play 4-2-3-1 or they play 4-3-3. Simple. This team they play stodgy 4-4-2, and they don't have people that can just cut through your defense on the wide. It just isn't happening. It's just a different way to do it, and it's not his fault. Like I'm trying to think of the Argentinian players that fit that mold right now throughout the world. There are none.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be on the team. So with it, I
Yeah,
think
well,
with
Messi, that's the crazy thing about Messi is he's been doing a lot of the winger duty. He's been going out there wide and putting the balls into the box. There's nobody else that can do it.
he plays four positions on a dribble.
Yeah.
I'm going to start
That's the
back
number
right.
10.
I'm going to pass it to myself. All right, okay. And then it's just that's how the games are going, man. And he
I
is
don't want this fun to end. I like watching it, man.
he is by himself, and I think he has less to work with than Zidane did. But I really compare his influence on games. You have not seen a singular performance from a player like that since Zidane in '06. In '06, France was France was a great team still, but they were not supposed to. They were not tipped to win that tournament. They didn't win. I mean, they got to a final though,
They got to the final.
and and everybody thought Zidane's too old, and he was the best player at the tournament by a long shot. And that
How old was Henri at that point? Was he in his prime still, or was I can't really?
yes, 2006. So he made the trip to Barcelona after that summer, I believe, and
Okay, so
so
maybe sort of tail end of his prime.
he was. So I think his prime was probably just before that. But you have to
Hmm.
remember, so it was that so the Invincible run, and then you cap it off right before he leaves. And I think it was '06 when they get to the final of the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the squad. Like if you trace that, you also have to look at because he was too young in '98. He was part of the France squad that won it, but he was young,
Mm-hmm.
super young. 2 years later, he was now starting like a 2000 Euros. That's when real Henri starts to come in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think by 2002 World Cup, he was on the cover of FIFA. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was that was his
yeah.
trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Henri was a seasoned vet by the time
2006.
'06 came along. But yeah, I mean, did he light it up with goals? Was he Mbappe level good striker? Not a chance. No, no. Mbappe is Mbappe has 20 goals in 21 games, dude.
Well, he scores 2 to 3 a game, basically every other game.
I can't even understand how you do that in the World Cup. Like to be that up for that is just nobody's like that.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell my quick little PSG story real quick because I
Okay.
want to get this online. But my wife and I went to a PSG game in 2000, October 2018. It was PSG versus Lyon. It was everybody was hyped up. The stadium was crazy, and like early on, pretty early on, I want to say like the 20th minute, PSG gets a red card. I think it was Kimbappe got a red card, sent off. The crowd just totally deflates. Everybody is like, "Whoa, my God, what is happening?" The little corner up in the right side of the stadium, the Leon fans, they're going crazy because they think they're going to get the win. Then I think either right at halftime or right after halftime, Leon gets a red card. 10 on 10. Neymar scores a penalty. And then a few minutes later, Mbappe scored 4 goals in 15 minutes. And it was the
That you were at the game. That's right. You were at that game.
and it was the craziest experience of my life. It was the best soccer game ever. And I'll never forget that. Thank you, Mbappe. And he's still doing it 8 years later.
So,
I think he was like 19 at the time, too. I mean, he was like 18, 19, 20.
so I remember telling my dad, and I can't remember the year. I mean, the year will be easy to back into, but my dad, he understandably he sees me, and I just talk, and he just always thinks everything I say is hyperbole. But I called him after one of the Champions League games, and it was during that gorgeous Monaco team. So Monaco went really deep into the Champions League. I forget, maybe they got to a semis or something like that, and it just didn't work out. But that was the team that had Bernardo Silva and Lamar, Mbappe, of course, who was the center. That's like when we first saw Mbappe,
Did they
right?
have James at that time, too?
I don't
Or
know
he,
if he was there
or he had already
overlapping at
gone?
the point. I can't remember. He might have been in there.
I think
But I
he was
mean,
there with Mbappe for a little bit.
if you look through that squad, I'll miss names coming through, but Matinho was there. You know how, I mean, he never quite hit the heights of the other guys, but I'm like really good ball players are
Coutinho
on
was
that team.
money.
Yeah, I mean Lamar kind of fizzled out at Atleti afterwards, and but their defense was like just the whole team was just crazy. And but they all made their name on that team. And I called my dad, and I was like, are you seeing what I'm seeing with this Mbappe boy? Because he's as good as that team was. You just go that one. I want that one.
Yeah.
You know.
And he was what, 16 at the time or something, or
I don't
17?
I don't know. I think he was 17. That's my guess. He probably was 17. And it was very clear. And I just told my dad, I said, I think that's going to be one of the best players ever. And obviously that sounds like hyperbole.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, Nick, it's like it's a kid. He had a nice run with some smaller team that you never see go this far. And I said, all right, fine. And so as early as I guess the Sweden game, okay, when France played Sweden this World Cup, that one of the best performances of any team in the World Cup. I called him like I always do when Mbappe does something well, and I said, "So what do you think? Do you think this Mbappe guy is going to be okay?"
He
Like,
good?
and he because he knows, and he's like, "Okay, this again," and I just say it, say you were wrong, and that I was right. Like I want a Chubbs Peterson interaction where you're very good looking. I'm not. I
I'm
want.
not attractive.
I want. I want that every time. And you're right though. It's like no matter the point in his career, he just keeps doing the same thing. Now he didn't win Champions League with PSG.
Mhm.
There's something about him at club level where it's not quite clicking. Where it just it's like he does amazing
Well,
things,
it's
but he's
it's it's been like in the finals because he's getting to the finals and he's scoring tons of
precisely.
goals for the club during the season, but he just hasn't worked out in the finals for whatever reason.
And there is a through line there which people often overlook. Another great French player, Zidane, his club career is actually not littered with gold.
Yeah,
How many times do you think Zidane won the Champions League?
one time.
One time. Like his numbers at Juve, his numbers at Real, they're okay, but they don't like leap off the page like that's one of the greatest of all time. But there's something about he puts that French jersey on and you've never seen and of course, I mean he's an incredible player at club level too, but the as far as statistics and the accolades and the trophies, he's got a cabinet, but it's not as big as some other people. But you remember them because of how good they play in World Cups
Yeah,
and Euros, It's just a different thing. And I guess you would say Ronaldo's kind of the reverse, right?
yeah.
I think
five.
he's on suicide watch tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, man. What a different. I mean, it's just crazy because like it was always, like you were saying earlier, Messi can't get it done with Argentina. He's gonna retire a failure, and Ronaldo was like still the golden boy. I mean, I guess they won Euros, right? Didn't they?
Well, they won Euros, but if you remember that tournament again, like think about they lost. I was in Reagan National Airport watching that game, and I remember just like like this can't be. We were just coming back from some wedding or whatever it was, and and I was just like this can't happen because that whole tournament they were the team. If you that Portugal team, they won 0 games in normal time, group stage on. They did not really win a game in the tournament,
Yeah, those
which
all
is
count as ties.
mind-boggling. Like just like they were not worthy winners in that sense.
Hmm.
And so you see Griezmann on fire. Like France should have easily won that final, like no question. And Ronaldo like was not. They tied Hungary 3-3 in one of the scrappy, like the weirdest games you ever seen in your life. And Ronaldo, he got subbed off, if you remember. Like he got subbed off in the final. I think he got injured or something happened, whatever it was. And he was like he was overdoing it next to the coach.
Yeah, he was like pretending to be second
He was,
coach. I
you know,
remember
he was like,
that.
it was so annoying. But he got that win. And at the time, Messi was still sitting there, no Copas, no World Cups, and he finally had an international accolade, which he mentioned, by the way, the other day on his exit interview for
I
the World
didn't
Cup.
see what he said, but I heard it was something like,
They
what did he
somebody pretty
say?
much asked him. Somebody pretty much was like, "Hey, so you're not as good as Messi, right, dummy?" Like that was
Yeah.
if you read through the lines, they're like, "So Messi has a World Cup and he still in
And
the
you
tournament,
don't?
and you're not doing obviously you're not doing very well, sir." And he pretty much said you have to also put the Euro Cup in the same kind of status, and it's like no, that's a reach.
Yeah.
Like that's a
That's
gross
not a World
overreach.
Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to calm down. And also, if you're going to play that game, you have to recognize that Messi now has 2 Copa Americas. And it's like that, which is also not fair because they play those things they play them like twice a year at this point. They play so many Copa Americas.
Yeah.
It's like it's 100 years.
I don't even
It's
understand Copa America.
nobody does. That's the secret, right? It's just like, oh yeah, let's invite Qatar.
And now
Yeah,
they're in America every time.
yeah,
None of
whatever,
it makes sense. But
whatever. You'll watch it.
yeah.
But still, he has 3 international tournaments to his name, and now he's in another final. He's in his 3rd final. How many times has Ronaldo been in a World Cup final? 0. So
Yeah.
sorry to make this about. I feel like Ronaldo has become a clown. Like he's like
It
a
almost feels
shadow.
like Game of Thrones a little bit. Like
I'm
how many
listening.
people talk about Game of Thrones after the last season? Like it's just totally been cut out from like anybody's mind. It's just totally been forgotten. And now with like what Messi's done, I just feel like Ronaldo who? Like
But
he won a
the,
few
the,
Champions Leagues, whatever.
well, I think it's not that people don't talk about it, but it's the way they talk about it. Like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth now. Because if he had kind of quit and gracefully bowed out, this tournament would look a lot different. People would remember him differently, but you're left with it's the Harvey Dent thing for me more than Game of Thrones. It's like you
He's
live
become
long
the
enough.
villain.
Yeah, it's like and I think he definitely has a villain quality to him now, especially because the comparison with Messi is always going to be part of his story. He's lost that. It's like
Yeah, I know. He's definitively lost it.
and you think, okay, I'm going to go to Saudi, which has a very different connotations than going to the MLS, right?
Hmm.
Like Messi chose the MLS. He still got his payday. They restructured everything to give him the deals and made it happen. But there's different, like the choices they make, they're like diametrically opposed on every front. And their persona of how you think about them, one can't stop talking and being on Instagram. One doesn't say a goddamn word and just goes, it's nice to win everything, you know?
Yeah,
Oh, this is,
what was he thinking going to Saudi Arabia?
well, he's thinking I'm gonna get a shit ton of money here.
Well, he would
Like,
have got a shit ton of money anywhere.
yeah, of course, it's like your legacy. What do you? I don't really get it. Like I don't get what you've decided to do here. But you know, I did hear. I should share this. I was listening to another podcast, and the very very funny point was made of Messi. They were talking about after it was either after the Egypt game or what was the Switzerland game. I can't remember which, but they were saying they were talking about him, and then they asked this guy what he thought, and he's like, "Well, the odd thing about Messi is he experiences the game different than all of us, and he sees the game different than all of us." And you're thinking like, "Oh, he's just talking about how he's a genius or whatever," and he's like, "Well, that's not really what I mean. What I mean is that Messi has never played on a team that didn't have Messi on it. Messi has never." Has never played a game that Messi wasn't in. And so it's like he doesn't even understand like that soccer a lot of the time is boring. It it can be dull.
It's a war of
It
attrition.
it can be bad sometimes, but he doesn't really understand that because he's always there. And like the way like he said, imagine being every time you ever play soccer, Messi's on your team. That's what he has, which is like a really funny. I know it's a meta
No,
like
no,
kind
no.
of
It's funny because
joke, but
I saw some pregame stuff one of these days with Javier Hernandez, Chicharito,
mhm.
and they were like, "You played against Messi a few times," and he's like, "Yeah," and he always beat me, and I'll never forget each of those games. Like it was like they're obviously core memories for him that he played against Messi, but Messi's got that every day of his life.
Every single time that he plays is like a really
Since he
funny
was,
point.
we've seen the videos of Barcelona U7 teams, him just shitting on those poor little Spanish kids.
Goal, 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 goal. Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So I guess we're on to predictions. I think we talked about how we think the game might play out, but give me your winner. How,
I- I'm I'm kind of feeling an extra time game here. I'm kind of feeling like Spain will score first,
okay.
as the team against Argentina always does. Argentina, I think, will Messi will do something inevitably in the second half to tie it up, and Messi will produce something in extra time to win it.
I like
I don't see it going any other way, to be honest.
I like that. And so what I'm going to do is double down because what I should do is zig against myself. Okay? I thought France would win. I thought England would win, and I keep being wrong. Well, folks, Mama's wrong again. Okay? My what I want to do is fade myself, but I'm just going to double down. I think Spain can and will trounce this
Trounce.
Argentina team.
Okay.
I think it will be a very dull affair that will be
Yeah.
over. That will be over. Even if the score line isn't like that's how it felt against the France game. You saw the way the wind was blowing, and after the penalty, you were just like, "Well, France doesn't really look like they've got much to say so far." It's not like, "Oh no, that happened." It was like I didn't see them threatening, and then when the second goal goes in, you go,
Good
"Well,
night.
that's all, folks."
Yeah.
So the one thing that's different is that Argentina does not know when they're dead. So that's to your point. And so I could see that, but I do have a feeling that Spain should just smother this team with a pillow, and that's it.
But
But
who's gonna do the smothering?
it's a collective. It's the
Well, yeah,
possession.
I mean, I know that's how Spain works, but I did have the thought that this is set up perfectly for, like, Yamal hasn't looked that great this whole tournament. I mean, he won the penalty against France, but he just kind of jumped in there. But I do feel like it could be set up for Yamal to produce. Like, I could also see a 1-0 or maybe 2-1 game where Yamal produces something spectacular, worthy of his $200 million price tag that seals it for Spain.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like it's kind of set up for that.
You got me thinking of something that actually that would be a good hook if you're going to do these shorts for the Marty. give me your. Let's go to a FanDuel corner over here for a second. Okay, so like, what's your what?
Produced by FanDuel here.
Get your big bet in there. Like, what's your player or your scenario or whatever that you would say is go for the long odds on this one.
Well, I mean, I don't really like to bet on finals, semifinals, quarterfinals. Like I'm a group stage
Group, of course,
groupie.
everybody starts to get
Like it gets tight. Like the
yeah
goals
tight
come
yeah.
from weird places. Like there's not very many of them.
Imagine if you had though, like think about if you got on the nose like France Croatia 4-2 in the final. How much money you would have made
Oh
on
yeah.
an exact like that's a like you don't see it. But usually you're of course it's a constricted situation. So okay, so if you were a betting man in the final,
Well, I mean, like I said, I kind of would. I mean, I don't know what the odds for Yamal would be, but I'm guessing they'd be pretty decent. Like probably around plus 300 or something, plus
okay,
250.
for any time,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna take Olmo.
Ooh, actually, that's even better.
I'm gonna give me
Dude,
some
I like
Olmo.
Olmo. That's a good call. I
I
think
like
I
Olmo
would.
to pop up at the top of the
Yeah,
box and just stick something
dude.
pretty. I like
Dude,
that
he's
call.
dangerous, man. I haven't really watched him too much at Barcelona. Where was he at before? Valencia or something?
He was at Leipzig before that.
Leipzig, but
I'm pretty sure. And you know why I know about him in general, and I hate this about it is Justin Wallace. He was just like he read some ESPN article and he was like, "Yo, Danny Olmo is the truth." And it was like back when he was playing like U20 World Cups and he was getting some shine and he was starting to come in at Leipzig and doing his thing. And I was like, I never heard of it. I looked him up and I was like, whatever. And I didn't say he sucked or anything. I was just like, what a Justin Wallace thing to say, you know?
Daniel, good.
No, and the last part about it is nowadays he does what I do to my dad about
Oh yeah,
Mbappe, and
he
but
does.
it's still it's unfounded. It's like he read some article. It's not like he saw him play, and
He
he
read-
lives he lives rent free all the time. Anytime I see Danny Olmo, the reason I don't like him as much as I probably should is because of Justin Wallace.
Well, I feel like Danny almost suffers a little bit from the Kevin De Bruyne thing. Like
Where he doesn't look like it.
he doesn't look
Yeah.
like the star player that he could. So you discount him.
Yeah, like that's why part of the reason I like Fabian Ruiz so much is because he looks like it. He's a
Yeah.
little bit taller. Like he looks like Poppy. Like Danny Olmo. He's some twink. Whatever.
Yeah, frosted tips.
Yeah,
Whatever.
fuck off. Yeah. Okay. So you've got Argentina winning. I've got Spain winning. I don't even really want to guess the third place game because we don't know how serious they'll take it, whatever. I see France skates
I
it
mean,
probably.
yeah, I mean, I'll say France no matter what the lineups are.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Um, but yeah, I like it. Okay, so we got competing interests here.
Yep.
I don't like either team to win. I don't want either of them to win, but I think 2 stars is a better story than five because if Argentina getting five, that Brazil is knocked off the pedestal they've been on since.
I kind of like that. I kind of like to see Brazil get knocked. I mean, they haven't really been that good in a while.
Oh, I know. 2002 was the last time they added a star, and Argentina since. I mean, going from to. Oh, I'm sorry. Italy has four. Argentina only has three. This will be four for them, so they will not get to five anyway. Sorry.
Well, but
Back, but yeah, no. But Argentina has certainly been the ascendancy
yeah,
over the last decade over Brazil, no
yeah,
question. Brazil's had a lot of problems,
yeah.
and they also said, I think that somebody, I don't know how high up they were, but it might have been from the Federation. They saw the defeat to Norway as much worse than the 7-1 defeat to Germany, which I thought was very interesting. Like because it's
Well,
at
yeah,
least it's Germany.
and it was the final, wasn't it? Wasn't that the
No, no,
final? That was the
no. That was
semifinal.
semis. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If that was a final, oh, daddy.
Yeah,
So that was the 2014. So the final was Germany versus Argentina, and Goetze
oh yeah,
had the
Argentina. Yeah.
1-0 win.
Mhm.
But the semi was Yeah, and that's not, and that's at home too. That's in Brazil.
Yeah.
And for them to say that Norway beating them at this World Cup was worse than that, that's
I,
a
I mean, I kind
massive
of see
statement.
that Norway is not one of these, 8 teams that have won the World Cup, so Brazil
I
shouldn't be
understand. Yeah.
losing to them.
Yeah. Well, we knew one thing was for certain in the semis is that no new team was going to win it.
Yeah.
That's what
Mhm.
was kind of cool about 2010 is that Spain and Netherlands never had won one, and you knew there was going to be a new champion crown. Like that was
Mhm.
a cool thing. Not this time. It's
Yeah.
just like whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't
So
come around too often.
no, it doesn't. Well, we're at an hour.
Yeah, let's
How you
call it.
feel?
Yeah, let's call it. Keep it brisk.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah. You sound like you're from London. Episode 2. Thank you for coming. See you in the Premier League season, probably. Yeah,
Slip tip on the
we'll
menge.
do a little finals recap. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I think I like this cadence. Like I like getting in the groove, and I think this is going to be, at least for me, like I don't care who listens to this stuff,
Yeah,
but
we don't.
um, I would love to start doing when the EPL starts rolling around. I think it's I will I'll really start enjoying this
Oh
a
yeah. I
bit
mean,
more.
that's really what we're interested in is doing the EPL. I mean, I think it's that's kind of the whole point of this podcast is an Arsenal and Chelsea kind of tinged show with
Yeah, and yeah,
other
and I
Premier
don't
League
have to,
stuff sprinkled in.
and I know a little bit more about it too. So I'm not saying things like Scolari is coaching Argentina. It's like there's like these obvious problems that are happening in
It's
my brain.
episode 2. They're giving us a break.
They've got it's such a bad like I'm that is gonna bother me for like a week because I know
Good.
who Scolari
Good. Don't make
is.
that mistake again.
Scolari Scolari actually coached at Chelsea
Yeah.
for a time. I
He's
mean,
actually Scolari's kind of interesting because he is sort of the first coach I really remember. Like when
mhm. Interesting.
I first started watching Chelsea a little bit with Mourinho at the tail
I was
end
gonna
of.
say, aren't you a Mourinho phase one guy?
Yeah, but I still wasn't like fully
Okay,
crazy into soccer at that point yet. Like I was more
so
casually starting to like soccer.
so
Was
you're not like a
started
Damien Duff guy. You're like
no.
you came a little bit like so because Scolari is before or after Villas Boas. I'm trying to like piece together the puzzle
He
here.
was I think he so it was Mourinho got sacked.
Uh-huh.
Then they brought in Avram Grant
Grant was
as sort of
there.
like a caretaker manager, and then it was
Yeah.
Scolari, and then I'm not
They've had
sure
so
it
many.
was
Oh my gosh.
Gus Hidnick and
Gusty
Ancelotti.
Dink was there. Yeah. Oh man, there's been so many.
Gus, and then Mateo, and then Villas Boas was after that. I think it's been a lot.
Mateo. Mateo was a true caretaker. Anyway, we're
Well,
getting
he
way.
won the Champions League.
Well, I'm saying like that Champions League really bothered me.
Yeah, well, yeah, they shouldn't have won it.
I remember that. I remember not being happy about that. It was more so because of your league position at the time, and that's why
Yeah,
he
because
was brought
they
in.
knocked out Tottenham, right? Who should have gotten
Yeah,
into the Champions
which I
League.
don't. They should have been there, and it's not because that's not why I didn't like it. It was just like I did not like that a team that performed that poorly during the season beat Bayern Munich
Yeah,
under those like I did not like that game big time.
I liked it quite a bit.
I'm sure. And it was also a bad time. I mean, a long time was a bad time for me as an Arsenal fan. But like those were the fourth place years. So it was always just
Mhm.
like it's fourth, fourth,
Never
fourth, fourth,
challenging,
fourth,
yeah.
fourth, fourth. Um, or third
Well,
or
not
whatever. But
anymore.
anyway, well,
Premier League winners.
but and we'll get into this. But you lose some of the ethos that I grew up on. It's not how they won that. That it feels raw. And we can do a whole thing about that in the lead up to the season.
I mean, you said that you would leave Arsenal if they stopped playing good football. Do
Well,
you
I
still say that?
what I would say is because I still think it's not an all or nothing. Like I think that for the first half of that season, they still played really good ball, and I still think that happened over the last two seasons, and they happened to get over the line this time. but they shrink down and start to play very, very negatively. And the PSG final in the Champions League was the apex of that. That was like one of the. I understand you don't go toe to toe and you do what you can, but the real reason I would leave Arsenal, like I mentioned before, is if the oil money comes in and ruins the nature of what it is. When it turns into a project like that, that's when I'm out. And that's what also part of the reason I did not like the. I mean, Chelsea is essentially what started the evil empire.
Yeah.
Abramovich's takeover, I
Yeah.
see as a really negative. But on the flip side, that's the nature of why it's so popular.
Yeah.
It kickstarted all
It's a
this money intrigue. That's the genesis of it.
it's
So there's a
a
give and take.
there's a double-sided coin there.
The best I've heard it described is the circus must be paid for, and I like that a lot. It's
Yeah.
like you can rail against it, but you like the circus, and you don't want to know how this gets to be the circus. Like you just want to go and
Watch the
watch
elephants. You
watch the
don't want to know.
clowns.
Yeah, the clowns. I forgot. You're all about the
Yeah.
clowns. You found a clown phrase,
Full
and
circle. I got to get back to Buenos Tardes, payasos somehow.
yeah, but nobody
Anyway,
expected to hear that tonight.
well, especially like you
Buenas
especially.
noches, payasos.
Sorry, you can cut it. All right.
Bye.